Hey,
Man
gentlemen, how we
himself.
doing?
Hey, man, how's it going?
All right, all right. Stranded in Florida. It's all good, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, because you're trapped at the airport now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm at the airport right now. So when you hear
Oh,
the
man.
announcement, that's what's going on.
Ah, jeez.
Oh, no.
Are you waiting on a layover flight?
No, I haven't left. I was supposed to leave this morning from Fort Lauderdale, and
Okay.
things happen. Now it's still this evening. I'm stuck in Fort Lauderdale all day long.
Hearing them announcements.
Yeah, that's going to happen quite a bit.
It's okay.
They just the announcements just hijacked the stream there for a second.
Oh yeah.
Like, they really,
even
really
know.
make sure that they find who they're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Transmitting across all networks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Definitely.
man. So we're
Well, other than that,
chat's happy.
how's that going?
Everything's
Wait,
going
what?
great.
Okay.
Everything is going great.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so, I mean, we already had you a few years ago, so we're not going to ask a bunch of the generic questions that we ask everyone. We're just going to let the chat
Okay.
ask you questions.
All right, that sounds
Yep,
good.
it's a free for all with the chat. So
It's a free-for-all. It's going to be really interesting.
let's see what the chat has to say. All right, so we're gonna wait for them to start. Yup, here they come.
Oh, yep, here they come, just flooding in.
They said, how are you liking that new pillow of yours?
Oh man, I'm sitting on it right now. It's keeping my lower back warm and comfy.
Oh, yeah?
I was actually really pleased with it. It was only 2,500 tickets,
Oh, wow. That's not too bad.
and it's giant, and it's huge. Like, it would not fit in a microwave. I'd cry. So it's great. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Let's
Oh,
see. Someone's asking... Okay, well, there's a lot of questions, and they keep going by, so I'm like, oh, there it goes. It's gone.
Yep, we're trying to keep up with the chat. But as we're gathering more and more questions as we go, how was the airport? How was your time at Sonic Revolution back in June?
Oh, it was fantastic. What a well put together event. Really great people, and boy, it was just really fun all day.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a lot of
met some really cool people, and a lot of people have kind of kept in touch since then. People that I met there, a good handful of them, and so it's cool to meet some more people from across the world. We all happen to be in the same building for a minute. So that was cool.
yeah.
It's cool. Someone's asking what your favorite color is. It's really important.
Yeah, my favorite color is June, July blue.
Ooh.
Okay.
June, July blue.
And the next question is, what is June, July blue?
Yeah.
So the June, July blue is the color of the sky when about once a year when you look up and you go, man, I've never seen the sky so blue.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I think
It's
I know
like the
exactly
bluest
what you're
blue
talking about.
sky. Yeah, like maybe we can all remember a day where you looked up and you're like, man, it's just a perfect day and the sky has never been this blue. That's June, July blue.
Oh, right on. Like when it has like those different shades of like a lightish blue as it gets higher. Like it's like a gradient kind of. It's really nice.
You sound like an artist talking.
Gee, I wonder why.
I wonder why.
I'm not an artist. I'm not an artist. Who
Yeah.
said that? I'm just.
I read it in one of the bathroom walls. Oh my
Yeah, I
God,
know exactly what
it's
you're
now.
talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Someone's asking if you've ever sang a song in like a character voice.
Sang a song in a character voice?
Yeah, someone's asked if you've ever done that before.
Like any character?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm sure they're wanting to hear whether it's Sonic or not, but...
Well, I mean, yeah, I've sang some things with Sonic before. I just kind of, not officially, but kind of off the hand, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I suppose that's happened. I would be surprised if I have never done that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But sitting here, I can't quite come up with an example.
I've got it. You've sang Happy Birthday before.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did do that. Yeah. I guess I've done that multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, really?
Sometimes, occasionally, I've been known to duet with myself, singing Happy Birthday.
Yes.
Nice.
For me, maybe once or twice.
I was going to say, I think Emi got that one year where Sonic and I both called at the same time, and we took turns singing to it.
Ah, nice. Very nice.
Let's see. Someone's asking if given the opportunity, would you voice Sonic again?
Yeah, I definitely would. That's a question I get asked very often.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's only second to why don't you voice Sonic again? So that kind of goes right along with the same answer, where it's I would absolutely do it in a heartbeat. But of course, there's a lot of, you know, business and red tape that goes behind that. So.
Mm-hmm. Right. So it's a big kind of conjoined business thing.
Yeah, I mean, if an offer was made and it was a good, fair offer, then I would absolutely do it.
Right on. Cool.
All right. Someone's asking if you would go to Revolution again.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I would totally do Revolution again.
There you have it.
Let's see. I found one. Let's see. Robert Jackson is asking, to you, Ryan, what's the big difference between doing acting on stage and in theater compared to doing voice acting?
The biggest difference? Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. I suppose maybe the biggest difference is that I'm kind of pulling from some voiceover stuff I just did recently for some Halloween products, and I'm thinking that like all of your energy has to go into voiceover when you're doing voices, and I think that theater in general is you try to work at the goal is to make it as realistic as possible, kind of bridge that uncanny valley so that when the audience watches a theater show and they want your goal as an actor in theater is you want the audience to forget that they're watching theater. You want them to be so engrossed in the story that they forget they're singing a theater, they forget they're watching a show, they forget they're watching actors. They're just, into the story. It's kind of like when people would read Harry Potter and like some character dies and people are weeping, because they're so into the story, and the goal of voiceover isn't necessarily hyper-realism, especially with, animated things, or it's more of kind of putting your entire character into just the voice. That's kind of more the goal, kind of taking a spotlight of information and condensing it down to a laser beam.
Right on. Cool. You know what? There's
that said,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry,
my bad.
I cut you off. No, I was, and then I had a second thought. But then to piggyback on that, can you guys still hear me when they're talking?
Yeah, we can hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He's so loud over here.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I was like, I'm just looking around to see where I cannot sit under a speaker, and there are speakers everywhere. Anyway, this is like a nightmare. To piggyback on that is that probably the most question I get asked the most often is how do I get into voiceovers? And for many years, I didn't really have a stock answer for that. But then I heard somebody else, another actor that I really respect, said that when they get asked that question, they always say, take acting classes. Because Oh my gosh, she's so loud.
It's like really distinct too.
It really is. It really is.
Like, I love how they say it again.
Yeah, they repeat themselves like 3 times just for you guys.
Like, thank you.
So anyway, the goal of being a good voiceover actor has to come from an acting background. So sometimes people have pretty good mastery of their instrument and they have different voices, but they can't act at all, and they can't make a script sound real. So I guess that's a similarity between stage acting and voice acting, is that you want to, act the hell out of it.
Oh gosh, she's back.
You hear me? A, B, and C. Get out of here.
A, B, and C, everybody. Get to your gate.
Let's see. There's another one. Like, there was one that I found.
Oh, the joys of the airport.
Oh, the airport. It's just, you know what? I'm not really going to say if I have like a good or bad experience with airports. It's just an experience at airports.
Right, exactly.
It's just kind of like a, it's something.
Remember
but let
when
me see.
Remember when you left me at the airport with that other dude? I was like, please don't leave me.
I was like, I have to leave. Because, like, okay, so, like, we're all... It was funny because it's like, I remember when I was saying bye, I was like, bye, and he was like, bye. You were like, bye. I was like, what's going on?
Bye.
Don't leave me here.
I was with the guy who really liked me, and I was like, he's gonna flirt with me now that Dorian's gone.
Oh, your wingman left you.
Oh,
the one
man.
Kind of keeping him kind of like away, like kind of keeping him from doing anything. So like he leaves, and I'm like, great, I have to figure out what to do for the next hour until this guy gets on his plane.
Oh man. Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, because like I had no idea, and she told me about that when I I think because we all like called and checked on each other when we came back from being out of town when we got back off our flights and stuff. And yeah, I remember she told me about that. I was like, oh well. Oh man. Okay, let's see. There was another question in here, but like there's so many in the chat's like really blowing up that I totally lost it. She is again.
There she is. She missed you.
That's it. Let me see. God, there's so many questions in here. A lot of them, some of them are the same as before. But let's see. Let's see.
If you're traveling on the flight 1255 Wyatt Hill, your new departure will now be E10. Once again, if you're traveling on the flight.
I'm sorry, it's gonna make me laugh every single time.
Your departure will now be
I think it's cool.
This seriously has to be like one of the craziest interviews you've ever had before, yeah?
This is probably the top, yes.
Oh man, let's see. Let me see if I could find something. Like there are just so many. Does anyone else have?
I'm looking through the questions. Someone's asking how old you are. That's an interesting one.
Oh, that is an interesting one.
How old are you?
Should I admit it, or I'll tell you what?
He is 27.
We're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that.
Let's go with that.
Whoever asked the question, my answer is I was born before you.
I like that answer.
Okay, I actually found one, but I'll wait till they're done announcing their thing for the 40th time.
They're never gonna end, Dorian. They're never gonna end.
Oh my God. Okay.
Never will.
We can go ahead and power through this. Okay, so someone's asking, to you personally, what makes or breaks the Sonic voice?
With like different actors doing it?
Yeah, like just generally. I guess with your. I guess I could. We can kind of like sort of make it small a little bit. Just kind of like just the overall. If someone were to do the voice of Sonic at all, like what makes or breaks it, or make or break it to you?
Oh, that's an interesting question too. I think if I had to answer that sitting in an airport, I would say that probably the number one thing would be energy. Some people like have a good tone. Some people have kind of a grasp on the character, but they just don't have the energy behind it that I kind of look for.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was kind of my the kind of core of, I think, my take on Sonic was kind of the energy of it. And I think that's what I miss when I don't hear it.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Like I definitely feel the same way. Well, I hear like certain takes of it or something. Like maybe if someone does an impression or something and it just doesn't have a lot of energy, like you really feel it because it's like just looking at him visually, he just sparks so much energy. He's just standing around and just not even doing anything. So when it's very low, you can really see. Yeah.
Right. And that may not be a flaw in their character or in their choice of voice or anything like that. That just might be just they're an inexperienced voiceover person, and they haven't learned to kind of channel their entire being and put it into a microphone yet.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because I think actually I remember this the first time you had your in a Sonic stream that we had here on one year. I think it was the first year we did it when we had you on. I showed you a picture of yourself doing voice acting or something where like you're really super expressive. And I was like, were you voicing Sonic here? Just like no, but that's what I remember the one when you're kind of doing the gun finger thing.
Yeah, totally. Like pointing my fingers. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a different language?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is.
This is for all our Spanish-speaking people.
Gotcha.
Can hear what gate you're supposed to be at. Yeah, a funny little tidbit in that actual photo where I'm doing the gun finger pointing thing. I'm actually wearing a Mr. Bungle T-shirt for anyone who's a fan of Mr. Bungle or Jason Moore or Mike Patton.
Oh, cool. Nice. Do you remember what you were recording that day when you were in there?
No, but I remember where that was. That was actually at Rick Bowman's studio in San Diego. He has a company called Lethal Sounds, and he was one of those people that he has like a normal looking garage, and then you go in his garage and it's this beautiful studio. And so I remember I recorded so many things there. I really have no idea what that was.
Oh, cool.
It's good. Just a good action shot.
Yeah. It really was. It's actually like one of my favorite pictures I have like lying around. It's really neat.
But that's a really kind of good representation of like kind of what you need to do in the booth to get your voice to do that. Like as an example, like sometimes you'll hear direction when you're in the voiceover booth. Somebody will say, "I need more smile," and you think, well, what difference does it make if I smile or not if I'm doing a voiceover? But like the way your face is and the way your body is, that all affects your voice. So if you even though I maybe was just posing for that picture, that is definitely something that I would probably do or look like while I was recording.
Okay. Cool. Very cool.
So someone's asking this question, and we know the answer, but maybe it would be a good idea for you to clarify it. But people are asking, is it true that Sega asked you to voice Sonic for Generations? Like that whole fiasco, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a good word, fiasco. Yeah. My agent called me and said, well, we got this thing, and hear me out. And I was like, okay. And so they said that, Sega's interested in having you re-audition for the role. And so there was a new director at the time or something like that, and I thought, well, maybe they don't want to go with, they're not offering it to me because they're not sure which direction they want to go with the characters, but they liked what I did, so they were just like, maybe you can re-audition. So I didn't take that as an insult or anything. That happens a lot in business. And so I went to LA, and went through this audition. Like all the heavy hitters, the LA voiceover scene were there. And I just mentioned this on Twitter recently, where I went into the studio, and the studio engineer, who didn't know me or didn't know anything about the project, was like, I got some notes here from the creative director, and he just says that he wants you to sound as much as you can like Ryan Drummond. Can you do that? And I just looked at him, and he's just looking at me with this blank face, like, can you do that? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. He's like, great. And so all he had was like a scratch track of me doing the voice. And so it was actually kind of humorous because I got in the booth and then I did the voice like I always have done it for the past 20 years. And the studio guy was just like, holy crap, you sound just like that guy. And I was just like, yeah, I've worked a lot to sound just like that guy. So I never told him that I was the guy.
That's funny.
Yeah, I just, thought he'll just think I'm a really good impersonator of myself. So then fast forward to a little bit later, and my agent calls me again after I returned to San Francisco and says, Sega wants to offer you the role. And I was like, really? I said, this is great. It's fun. And then my agent's like, but here's the issue, and here's why I think you should consider not doing it. And I was like, okay. And he basically said all the things that a lot of people know, nowadays, where it's like you have to quit your union, and basically you're not going to get paid. And there's a lot of work to be done kind of at cost and for the experience of it. But I've already had the experience of it, so basically ruining my career to do Sonic again was not something I was interested in. So, and my agent, he was great, John Erlinson at JD Talent. He really went to bat for me. He made millions of phone calls and said, kind of told Sega, Ryan has done so much for you over the years. You should honor him by giving him a contract that's fair. You shouldn't make him quit his union. He really tried to go to bat with me, and Sega was just not interested. They were like, this is the deal we're offering. You just take it or leave it. And I told my agent, I said, I can't quit my union. I can't make a living if I'm not in my union. Right. It was like, that's kind of how I feel too. And so I said, I'm sorry, I can't ruin the rest of my career to do the voice of Sonic again. And Sega was just like, okay, we'll go with someone else. So it almost happened, but the deal was something I couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's completely
As much as I love the character, and as much as I would love to be back doing it, and I would have loved to come back. I couldn't. It's like as an example, one of the things that they said was they were going to send me on this kind of trip around the world to kind of promote the game or whatever. And they were like, how much my agent was like, what are you going to pay Ryan to go around the world? And they said, well, we're not going to pay him anything, but he gets a free trip around the world. And so basically they said, you're going to be gone for 6 months traveling the world doing these promo things. And see, that would be great for somebody who doesn't have kids and maybe doesn't have a life where they are, or for some reason to stick around. But like at the time, I had 2 little kids, and I had, I had bills to pay. It's like you can't just leave for 6 months and travel the world for you and then come home with nothing.
Right.
It's like, how can I pay rent for 6 months if I'm gone for 6 months and you don't pay me anything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was the kind of deal that they were offering.
Oh man.
You don't need to wait in line and do your
Just a sec.
Waiting for her.
God, this lady wants to talk.
Just a sec. Oh wait, hold on a second. Is she promoting a product?
After will be forwarded to power segment from zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. We take your station and have a greater experience.
I'm standing right here and I can't even understand what she's saying.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, you should not have had. No, please
Oh my
don't
God,
do that.
here we go again.
But like I love how she starts it with "May I have your attention, please?" No, you can't.
No, you've been talking for the past 20 minutes.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
no, it's understandable.
I'm gonna try to move. I'm gonna try to
Okay.
move. I think I see a spot that has no people and no
Speakers.
Speakers.
So let me move over
It's
there.
a good idea.
Okay. Like I love how she just goes on like a straight shot through like a whole piece, and then like 5 seconds later, "May I have your attention, please?" No, you can't.
She's doing like a soliloquy or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
I found a corner.
uh-huh.
Let's see how that goes.
Okay, I think this might work, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like that's totally understandable what was going on with that. It just that doesn't make any sense, because you have to be able to do what you need to do to support yourself. And you can't do that. Well, it's like, I mean, I literally can't do it. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, it's like,
there's no compromise.
Yeah, it's like you get a free trip around the world, but no compensation.
Right. I mean, like, this is not a volunteer situation. This is a job. This is work. And anybody who's done voiceover knows it's work. It's not just all fun and glamour and games. I mean, sometimes it's really fun and you get to do some cool stuff, but it's work too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you guys, do you hear that? They're making announcements and you can't hear it where I am.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I found the magic
that's not
spot.
too bad.
I found the magic spot that has no speakers.
It's beautiful. Like it's the one spot in the whole airport. It's
just that one
It's actually
corner
like-
of the airport with no speaker.
Oh my lord!
I'm at an Einstein Brothers bagel place that's closed, so I'm in the bagel graveyard.
The bagel graveyard.
Bagels. The bagels,
Yeah.
of course. Oh man,
Good
but
question, though.
Somebody make a T-shirt with bagel graveyard on it. And only
Oh,
those of
man.
us here today will know what it means.
yes,
Right.
yes, just all of us. Oh man, but
So
yeah,
as a kind of a whipped cream on that thing we were just talking about, I personally don't know Roger Craig Smith. He and I have talked online a little bit, but we have never met in person.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I honestly don't know what happened with the deal that he got or that he's currently in. Because
We and Dorian have discussed that before, because there's no way
Yeah.
that man left his union. He's literally in like a bunch of stuff for Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. They apparently did not give him the same offer that they gave you.
right. And here's the other interesting thing about it is that, and I wish I could remember his name, but the guy who they hired to kind of revive the brand, the director at the time, when Sega said, "We want you to direct the new game and we want you to kind of reinvigorate the Sonic franchise," and he said to Sega, allegedly, this is what I've heard, he said to them, "That's great, that's fine, but I only want to work with the top union talent. Like, you can't do non-union folks. You can't just give me anybody. I want real people. I want Tom Kenny in. I want to bring in Tara Strong. I want to bring in, all these heavy hitters." And Sega was just like, cool. And so when we auditioned for that, all these heavy hitters were there, and like everybody was auditioning for it.
Mhm.
And then when they finally decided that, that they picked me or whatever, then that's when they decided, we know you auditioned all these union folks, but we're going to make this non-union. And so
It's
the
like,
director
no.
was kind of, I guess, pissed off, because he was like, "But I auditioned all these union people, and now you tell me that I can't hire any of them, And then Sega was like, "You can hire them, but they just have to leave the union to do it."
Ugh.
So it was kind of a
What's the
kind of a
point?
bait and switch kind of situation.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
The point is
like-
always money.
yeah, because
The
it's,
reason
it's
and the point
cheaper.
is always money.
because it's always cheaper to do it that way, because you don't have to stick to the guidelines of the union, especially when they're separate unions that they may be a part of. You're able to just kind of do what you want. Yeah.
And you can just tell them, "Hey, you have to do 8 hours of voiceovers, and we're going to give you $150 and a donut," and then you have to be okay with that.
Right, definitely. Because I assume like even though so like let's just say for example you did take the job, like you left your union and you decided to go and do that, you would have to sign a contract to be in things with them, right? So you would have to abide by that
Right.
anyway. Okay.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's not just no. And it's kind of a shame because at the end of the day, what ends up suffering is whatever thing is being made because you're not because I guess it's like to create good work like that, you have to invest into it, like really invest into it. And if you're gonna drag your feet, really kind of do that and doing it well, these kinds of things are going to backfire on you later. And that's never fun when those things happen. So,
Yeah. And the attitude
yeah.
that I was kind of getting at the time from Sega was that they thought that whoever did the voice, it didn't really matter. It's like the game is the game, and whoever does the voice, it doesn't really matter. You can get the janitor to do the voice; it doesn't matter. And I think that over the years, the fan base has kind of proven that wrong. That like, consistency of character, things like that actually matter to the people that play the game.
Yep.
Where the people who are making the games, it didn't really seem to matter to them. Like what matters to them is the animation and the game flow and the profits that you make. And and that's cool because that's what they do. But I kind of got the idea from them that they didn't really care about the voice. It was not a big deal. So they were just kind of like, just give it to somebody.
Yeah, like surprisingly enough, there are a lot of people that will say and think things like that. Like there are a lot of there's a rather large part of the video game community that doesn't even believe that games like Sonic even need like things like stories and stuff to begin with. And when people have those attitudes, and what they'll miss is that with video games, it's like we're past the time of like like Atari and Pac-Man, all these things, where these games are starting to become more of an immersive experience, especially when you're putting it up against movies and television and just all these different things. You have to give people likable characters and good stories and distinctive universes. In addition to fun gameplay. Like a game can be
absolutely.
Like a game can be a fun enough experience on its own, but if you add like some kind of experience that pulls the player into the game beyond gameplay, not only do you create a more enriching experience for your game, but you can also use that to expand to other types of things like comics and like television shows, like all of these different things. So it's not a smart move when that doesn't happen deliberately. It's a weird choice when those things happen. Yeah,
it's like
where, like, and even if you think way back to the early '80s, like even like Pac-Man, let's say that was an excellent example. Even Pac-Man, like after you solve a few boards, there's a little scene that happens where it's like it's the chase, and and you see Pac-Man running across the screen, and the ghosts are chasing him or whatever. And there's little scenes like even in those old games, they understood that like having some sort of plot or some sort of story, or at least showing the characters or the conflict that they're going through. Those things are important. That's what kind of drags people into games and makes them a big fan.
Oh yeah, totally. Like because I believe that it was Ms. Pac-Man that really like blew the lid off when they started doing stuff like that, right? Like back in the day, because that became the most popular arcade game, I think, because of elements like that.
Yeah. And even like Donkey Kong, it's like there's a princess, and you got to save the princess from the giant monkey, and it's like there's a plot involved.
Right. And I think what's weirder too about this, kind of ironically, is that Sonic, like these are one of the elements that made Sonic such an engaging character to invest in terms of making all these things like a television show or whatever in comics, because he had personality when you actually played the game. He would stop and tap his foot and look at you. There was a character under there that people connected with. So it's weird just to know that like there are certain decisions being made with the character that are deliberately going against those elements when it's one of its strongest assets. It's a little weird. That would be a thing that happens. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're getting deep here on this stream.
You know what? Actually, speaking of the speaking of things like with voices and things. Now I am curious, and I've been curious about this for a while. When you first got the role of Sonic back in, I want to say, was it 98? When you first got the role?
Yes, I believe you're right.
Email was an established thing like at that time. Like was it a thing that was? I know it wasn't as prominent as it is now, but was it like a big deal with email back then? Like that, or
that's a really good question. Maybe just starting. Maybe just starting.
Okay.
I remember very specifically, I was kind of late to the computer game, but I remember that in 1996, I started working at SeaWorld in San Diego doing shows. And I remember that the office had a computer in it, and somebody asked me to look up something on the internet, and I remember I didn't know how to do it. And I had to, like, look at other people on computers and see, like, okay, there's an address bar, and you type something in there, and that's what brings up a web page. Like, I didn't even know, like, exactly how to do it. And that was 96. So I think probably by 98, email probably would have been at least sort of in my life.
Okay, because I was curious because like a tradition that we've noticed, because we got to talk to Jason Griffith last year, and like Emily and I have talked to Roger when we went to a Sonic event in Texas.
A couple years ago, yeah.
In Texas, and a common thing with the both of them was that like when they got the role, they just got like this flood of emails of like people just like, how could you take this away from previous voice actor and so since you came after, yes, yeah, like since you came after Jaleel White at that time, that was known for playing Sonic in the United States, I was wondering like if that experience has ever happened to you on some level.
Wow, that's surprising. I've never heard that, and you know what? I guess I dodged a bullet on that one because I don't remember ever getting a single email. And I still get emails daily, and this has been decades now, you know?
And I think it's because, like, when you came in, there was kind of a big gap between, like, what Jaleel was doing, too. Like, Jaleel was doing, like, the TV shows. And
I know, to say, maybe there's that gap between, well, he's a TV show, this is a video game. It's just enough different where we don't mind that it's not him.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm thinking that must be it.
Yeah, but because I heard this. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was going to say I never received anything from anyone ever that I can remember that says, "How could you take this away from Jaleel?"
Yeah, because I was listening to this interview with let me think, with Roger and is it the connection okay?
No, you're good.
Nope. Oh, okay. So we were listening. Oh, sorry. Like I was listening to an interview with Roger, and he was talking about how like they just got this. Like the minute he got it, he was like, he got a call, and he's like, okay, we're about to announce you as the voice of Sonic. He's like, okay, sweet, all right. And he's like, but just brace yourself. He's like, oh,
right.
Okay. And then like I think like a little while, not even a whole day after he got announced, just this flood of emails of just like all of that. He's like, guys, I just walked into an interview. Like I just auditioned for a role and just like just why?
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Wow.
I think Jason.
I didn't know that.
Jason.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Jason got it pretty bad too when Sonic X came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. Yeah. Oh man.
Well, I guess those were kind of more hostile takeovers in a way. So that's not surprising that I suppose they got a little bit more heat for that.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Even
actually,
though they're just actors, they're just doing their thing.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now, do you know about I'm curious if you know about this. Do you know about the Super Smash Bros. Brawl Sonic voice thing that was happening with the fans with that? Huh?
I don't think so. Remind me.
Oh my god.
Did you want to tell him, or should I tell him?
Sure, I can tell him. So basically, around the time, they announced Sonic for Brawl, and basically, but I wasn't involved in this. I think I was like, I don't know, busy with school or something. But a bunch of fans like started swarming Nintendo and begging for you to be the voice for Sonic in that game. And they actually said they wanted to, but I think it was like ultimately up to Sega, so it wound up not happening.
Oh yeah.
But was there more
Interesting.
was there more that you wanted to mention about that though, Dorian?
Yeah, like because like there was a whole movement behind this. So there, I remember it was a whole like calling thing. Because okay, the trailer for Sonic and Brawl came out, and everyone heard that it was Jason. And like most of us were like, oh my god, this is cool, this is great. We had there was like this large subsection of people that like started this campaign where the plan was to, I think, on a certain day, everyone called Nintendo of America and request this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Nintendo of America got a lot of phone calls that day.
Yeah.
I'll bet they did too.
And people were like recording it too. Like they were recording their calls and putting them on YouTube. Look, I just called, I participated, now you gotta do it too,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really
cool.
something. Yeah. Like it was a big deal, man. I would say that your voice had a big impact.
It was a very passionate movement to get you to voice in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, that was in 2000.
Personal thanks to everybody who called that day. I had no idea this happened. That's so fun. That's great.
Yeah, that happened in what, 2000? AJ, what, 2008?
That was like Brawl came out in 2008. I think it was in March of 2008. So then that movement, it was right after Sonic got announced as a playable fighter, and I just it was somewhere in between there where then everyone just started calling Nintendo of America. Then they said, we'll do it, but it's ultimately up to Sega, and then then the rest is history.
I think that was November 2007.
Around
2007,
yeah.
I think. Yeah, because Sonic got announced in October. So yeah. Yep.
I didn't know it was
boy,
2008. I thought this was while I was in high school.
No.
Then why wasn't I a part of the movement? I
don't know. Why weren't you?
I don't know.
Emi. Why weren't you part of the movement?
Why?
I thought we were
How
friends.
dare you not calling Nintendo of America?
You know what? I'm hanging up. Forget this.
He just hangs up and leaves.
No. It would be even funnier if he walked back to the spot.
Yeah, he walks back to the spot with the speaker. Like, once I became a freshman, I just got
You want to hear
really
some
busy.
announcements from the airport? You got
You
it.
got him.
Emi, it's not too late. You can just call Nintendo and just put it on YouTube. Just say, I called. I'm a decade late, but I called.
How about I just call them and be like, hello, yes, just act like I'm in 2008. I heard for your upcoming title, Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Come up with this whole thing where you're like, I just got in my time machine and I went back to 2008 and I just want to tell you that you're about to make a huge mistake and you should totally hire Ryan as the voice of Sonic.
Is that what my voice sounds like?
Yes.
No, that's not it. That's not at all. That's a new character I'm working on. It's a new character I'm working on called Time Machine Girl.
Oh, I like it. I'm gonna
You like it?
that.
I'm workshopping it. Yeah.
I want to finance it. That'll be great.
All right, let's.
Guys, I'm having so much fun with you, but in about 5 minutes, I'm going to have to turn you guys loose because I have to get on a plane.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say that. Let's go ahead and let's take a few more minutes.
But let's take a few more. Yeah, let's do a few more while we have while we are free from announcements.
Okay. All right, a couple more questions. Hurry up.
All right, guys.
Couple more, guys.
Couple more.
Bring
We're
it.
gonna let them go.
Bring it. Let's see.
Let's see. Come on,
Give it a
chat.
minute.
Come on, chat. Yeah, it's because you gotta love stream delay.
Let's see.
Yeah.
There we
They're
go.
all here.
Here they come. Here they come.
All right. Someone said, "Hey, can you please say?" Wait, what song is that? Pink Fluffy Unicorns. I don't even know what that is.
Oh.
No, I don't either.
I think I know.
If you don't,
that.
then I
I
should.
think I remember what that is.
Is that a My Little Pony song?
I
He's not doing it. I'm
think-
telling you. I'm gonna say no. I say no. We're not doing it.
I wish I could, but I can't. Copyright infringement, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't know.
Exactly. They said, "What's your favorite video game
Of all time?
of all time?"
Of all time.
Oh, my gosh. Man, that's a tough one. Yeah. I can't possibly answer that. There's so many that I love, and for different reasons. Like, there's things I grew up on that are like a staple of my childhood. There's, of course, the whole Sonic franchise that has this is always a part of my heart. You got things that I'm just played earlier today. Like, I'm really into Fortnite right now because my kid is into Fortnite. So it's like, I love a lot of things.
Fortnite.
You know what I just rediscovered recently that was on Dreamcast, and they've got a really good version of it for iPhone is Crazy Taxi.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Crazy
that's on the
Taxi.
iPhone?
Yeah.
I just looked it up just the other day, and like they have the exact same version that was on the Dreamcast. They have it for iPhone, and I'm just like, I've been playing Crazy Taxi the last few days.
Nice.
I
cool,
remember Crazy Taxi on Dreamcast. Like when you drive around, I don't think they have them. I don't think they have it on the phone version, but I remember in the Dreamcast version, there were plenty of advertisements for a soccer store, Adidas, and Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's right. All the product placement.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All the
Oh,
product
yeah.
placement.
And hearing those same songs, like every other song in that game is by The Offspring or whatever. I mean, it's really fun. It's really fun.
Someone said it
Nice.
was Cooper. Cooper said he didn't have a question, but
Crazy Taxi.
Yes, crazy
Sorry, go ahead.
taxi.
Crazy
He said
Taxi.
I just wanted to thank him for signing all of my junk at Sonic Revolution.
Oh, it's not junk, son. It's great stuff. You're welcome. You're so welcome. It was a pleasure to meet you.
And
then-
I guess. Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna.
Oh no,
You're gonna.
you go. You're fine.
Oh, okay. I was just going to ask you, just as a last one, we have a person here. I cannot pronounce what the name is exactly off the top of my head here because we already passed it. But they were asking, what's it like for you to have been a part of so many of our childhoods when we were growing up?
That is undoubtedly the coolest thing about this whole adventure. I mean, I've said this before on various platforms, so it's probably not new news to anybody. But I was a kid too. I had childhood heroes that time for a quick story. When I was working at SeaWorld, they brought in a show that was Sesame Street Live.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought it in just for the summer or whatever. And I remember very specifically one morning I was rehearsing for another show that was in the Bird Stadium because they had a bird show at SeaWorld. I'm not sure why. But I was in the Bird Stadium, and this is really early in the morning, like 7:30. And the fog is rolling in, and it's, the sun is dawning on another day at SeaWorld. And I'm just rehearsing with this guy. We're doing these little bits and so forth. And I look over, and coming into the Bird Stadium is Big Bird. And it's Big Bird. It's real. He's 8 feet tall, and he's walking in. And you guys, I lost my shit. Can I say that? I lost it.
Okay.
I was just my jaw hit the floor with the sound of an anvil. I was just you got Big Bird is here. I freaked out. And so we all have those kind of things that are attached to our childhood. And just the fact that I was able to get a job that means that I get to be part of someone's childhood like that, even in the smallest way. Not that I think that, well, I mean, for some people, Sonic is more important than Big Bird, but to be a part of someone's childhood like that, especially when I get these messages that say, when I hear your voice, it reminds me of good memories, or it reminds me of playing video games with my sister, or it reminds me of when I would come home from school and I would play. And it's to be a trigger for other people's wonderful memories is just, it's an indescribable honor. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. Because
Right on.
I know I have things that are very near and dear to me from when I was a kid. So the fact that someone else would say that to me, I don't even know what to do with it. It's just so cool.
Mm-hmm. Right on.
There were
Right on.
definitely many a night after homework where, when I was growing up, I played the heck out of Sonic Adventure 2 on Dreamcast.
Homework first.
we all
That's
did.
right. Do your work and then get your reward on.
Oh yeah, all day, all the time. It was great.
That's
It was
right.
great for sure. Well, all right, man.
Well, guys, I wish I could hang around and talk more, but I have to get in a metal tube and go hurtling through the air. So
It's okay. Hopefully, like when you're on the plane, you'll be free of the speakers, because that is horrid.
Yeah, very
wouldn't it be great if
loud.
they followed me onto the plane?
It's just like
But-
no, Ryan. It's like
but-
you step onto the plane, and it's just like, okay, I'm finally free of those speakers. May I have your attention, please? Ah!
All right,
just
man.
just
Thanks
as
for
an
coming
added
in.
bonus, like everybody who's in the chat right now, since I'm flying from Fort Lauderdale, Florida to San Francisco, I'm literally flying across the country right now. So I will be waving out the window as I go across the country, and I will wave at all of you as I go overhead.
So he'll be flying
All
overhead now, guys. So if he flies over your
Yeah.
state, you never know. You'll look up, you see a plane. You'll never know. Ryan might be on there.
What time
never
are you
know.
landing?
Like 10:30 or something like that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, 10:30 or something like that.
Okay. Good luck with the flight.
It's JetBlue Flight 277. So if you can look that up somehow and find out where JetBlue Flight 277 is, that's where I am.
Okay.
Nice.
All right, have a safe flight.
Yeah.
All right, thank you
I'll talk
much,
to
and thanks for
later.
having me on, you guys. I appreciate it. It's always fun talking to you
No
guys.
problem. Yeah, same here, man. As always.
See ya.
Cool. All right, we'll talk soon.
All right,
Bye.
catch you later, dude.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.